to you.
Thanks, Alan.
No problem.
Lovely to meet you all. Brilliant to be here with everyone on this rainy day. I'm here with my colleague Patrick Howard, who joined the team. So I'm, as Alan mentioned, the corporate manager at UCD Professional Academy. We're a team of now 11, almost 12 education consultants that support organisations in all sectors across Ireland, including the construction, engineering sector, finance sector, healthcare sector, public sector, tech sector, you name it. We have consultants that would support all these sectors in skills, both from a soft skills standpoint and also digital skills. So your leadership skills, change management, to digital transformation, AI, marketing, and so on and so forth. So for today's topic, I'm going to discuss AI literacy for success. So preparing your workforce for today's business challenges.
Should we just the down arrow?
Should be this one here.
Oh, sorry, I was using
that's
the other
okay.
one. Yeah. Just to put UCD Professional Academy on the map, you're all, I'm sure, familiar with UCD as a university. So one of the largest universities in Ireland, #1 for employability. So you've got the main campus for your undergraduate programs, your master programs. You've got Smurfit Business School then on the other end for your MBA, executive education type programs. And we sit somewhere in the middle. So UCD Professional Academy itself was set up 2019, I think it was. Yeah. Basically for those cohort of people that are working professionals, they don't particularly have the time to go back and do a full-time degree or part-time degree or a master's program. So with these courses we designed, they're short, sharp, practical, skills-based courses related to the real world. So they're manageable, you're able to fit it into a very busy work schedule, personal life, family life, and so on and so forth. So typically about 12 weeks in duration. So you're finished within 3 months, basically. 40% of companies reported using AI in their business this year. So that's up from 35% in 2022 and 35% in 2021. The estimation is that AI will contribute 15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030. So if you put that into perspective, it's massive. It sounds ambitious, but looking at the rate it's growing at the moment, it's pretty spot on. So if we look at the engineering sector, you know, it has reported that 71% of employers are anticipating improved finances. However, there is a concern about the digital skills and the shortage of digital skills to sustain that growth, basically. So all in all, the key takeaway here is that AI skills are rapidly becoming essential across all business sectors. And Paul would have alluded to that earlier. So generally at a high level, okay, because I'm not an AI expert, we have our SME, our subject matter experts that deliver our courses in AI, but you know, you don't need to be a data scientist to understand AI or to learn AI. I suppose initially that's what people think, oh, it's too complicated, I don't understand, I'm not techie. You do not need to be techie, and that is not a requirement for the course either. So, you know, how can AI help? You know, it can help solve key business challenges, you know, within your own sector and across all sectors. So if we look at specifically the construction engineering sector, you know, a big challenge is project setbacks. So you've got software out there like BIM 360, Procure, RPA, robotic process automation, which is UiPath would be one example, that can support those various project setbacks using these softwares. So you can enhance efficiency and operational excellence. So speed up that process that usually would take a lot of time. Design and planning, for example, there's a lot of image generation software out there that can support some of your ideas, some of your plans, for example. Risk management, you know, ML models. There's one interesting one, my friend works for Protex AI. Basically, it's a software that is installed into your cameras and it can assess the whole construction site and identify risks and hazards, basically, through lots of data that's been fed to the machine, basically. Decision making, so improve decision making through data-driven processes. You're able to pick up insights quicker, spot bottlenecks, understand how to, I suppose, use and leverage these data points in order to make more improved decisions. So all in all, it's quite important to prepare yourself for the future of success in order to remain competitive. So, employees need to have that base level understanding of AI in order to be able to move with the change, basically. So don't be afraid of it, is the key takeaway here. So we have 2 diplomas in AI. We've got the Professional Academy Diploma in AI for Business. So that would be your starting point. And then following on, we have an advanced AI course. So if I just look at the diploma in AI first, okay, so it's a 12-week long course. So it's 1 evening a week from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We cover a module each week. So they're live lessons, very interactive. You're in a class virtually via Zoom with other professionals across maybe your own industry and multiple industries. So there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning as well in the class. So if we just look at the content itself, you've got the introduction to AI, what is AI, the digital transformation process and how it's incorporated into that AI, process automation. So for example, your robotic process automation and how you can implement that in the workplace. Cognitive insight, that would be related to machine learning, for example. Cognitive engagement, that would be natural language processing, which Paul mentioned there earlier, and how you can use it and leverage it in your organization. Industry developments across all industries, and everyone will have the opportunity to speak about that, join breakout rooms and how it's being implemented in your sector and so on and so forth. Capability strategy. So how are you going to build out a capability strategy within your role, a project that you might be involved in, or across the organization? Strategy implementation process, the people, process technology balance. So how are you going to get this technology and communicate it across the organization to your employees, build that process and that technology, have the balance. Societal and legal implications of AI. So, it's all well and good using these technologies, but you do need to be careful and understand the legal implications and society as well. Ethical dimensions, there's a lot of, again, limitations to AI. So you need to understand the ethical standards behind that, the governance as well, and the workforce for the future. So how are you going to build this into your role so it's sustainable for the future, basically? So learning outcomes, basically, this is more to understand the landscape of AI, high level, how is it built? How does it work? What is it basically, and the key challenges and limitations. Discuss and interact. Like I mentioned, you will all be going into breakout rooms and discussing these case studies, for example, or exercises. So there's a lot of value in having those conversations with other professionals that otherwise you wouldn't have that exposure. So you learn from your peers along with the subject matter expert. And strategize on AI. So understand how to align AI initiatives with business strategy. So again, you do not need to be in any ways a technical expert. If you're curious about AI and want to implement all these different processes, cut out the noise out there that you hear on LinkedIn and different events, and you don't understand how to actually use it in the workplace, this is a really good starting point. Then we have the advanced diploma in AI. So that's taken a deeper dive from the initial course. So a lot of professionals that would have taken the first course would move on to advanced AI if it's something that they're actually implementing in their organization. So, we cover the developments in technology, ethics in AI to a deeper level, governance, policy and regulation, very important if you're rolling out AI initiatives in an organization to have that backup, that governance, that policy. Leadership in AI, how are you going to lead that in the organization? And and I suppose motivate your employees to follow that journey. Generative AI and business applications, Paul mentioned that earlier, prompt engineering. So, teaching you how to, some tips and tricks in prompt engineering. You go from a broad understanding to more, focused approach in terms of the type of output that you want when it comes to querying the likes of ChatGPT-4 and so on and so forth. Optimizing operational efficiency, decision-making in AI and human engagement, trust, transparency, and explainability in AI. And then the last 2 weeks are dedicated to hands-on workshops. So this is where you go deeper and you work as groups in understanding how you would build out a strategy, a robust strategy for an organization. So again, you'll be put into groups and discuss that, but essentially the project that you're doing will be based in your own context, in your own role, basically. So again, in terms of learning outcomes, it is taking a deeper dive. So you're delving deeper into the technical aspects of AI, but you do not need to know how to code, just to let you know. You don't need any coding experience with this. Leadership, taking on that leadership approach, and the risk, so more in-depth knowledge about the ethical limitations, considerations, and the complexities that can arise, basically, and strategy. So, actually creating AI solutions for your organization to solve business challenges. So in terms of prerequisites, you do need to have had some exposure to AI, whether it be applications or any type of projects that you might have led in maybe a concrete area, but you want to understand the broader landscape. You can take this course, but otherwise I would advise the first course to understand, because it does feed into this one, basically. So that's the structure. It follows the same structure as the previous course. It's 12 weeks, 1 evening a week. I think I do have a slide on, yes, I have the breakdown here. So time commitments and assessment piece. So like I mentioned, it's only 3 hours once a week over 12 weeks. It flies by. I've done 3. I'm on my 4th one myself. This is on the cards for myself as well. So, if you do miss a lesson, you're not penalized, because everyone has busy lives. You might be at an event, you might be abroad, or you might have an important match for your kids or something. You can watch the revision recording. Everything is recorded, so that's the great thing. You can always catch up. In terms of assessment, we make it as achievable as possible. Again, understanding that you're all very busy. You only have a short window to do the assessment. So a lot of the learning does happen in the class, and it's just basically the first component is a learning log, a reflective essay, let's say. The weighting of that is 40%. So essentially, after each lesson, you just summarize what you got out of that lesson, and then just collect them, and then you'll have your 1,500 words, and you'd submit that on the 12th week. And then part 2 of the assessment, the heavier weighting, the 60%, this is where you do your project, So it's not an exam where we're trying to test your memory skills. It's more, okay, you want to get something out of this. You're creating a blueprint for yourself to follow on. You want to be able to implement what you've learned into your role, basically, or the project that you might be leading in the AI or digital transformation space. So it's the application of the tools, the knowledge, the insights gained, and putting it into the perspective of your world, basically. So that's the aim. And you get feedback, you'll be corrected. We do follow the UCD standards of pass, merit, or distinction, but you will get feedback from the lecturer on, some tips or, what you could do additional to what you've said, basically. So that's the breakdown there in terms of the assessment piece. And just in general, they're the key pillars that we have. We have over 40 courses that, we've got the leadership and management stream for your soft skills, like I mentioned earlier, your marketing, whole list of digital marketing related courses, data analytics, which, feed into AI as well. We've got data analytics without coding, using your Power BI, Tableau, for example, and then more advanced data analytics that include machine learning. So that touches off AI, digital and IT, where AI is actually categorized in that pillar, and then business and finance, general business and finance courses. So that is UCD Professional Academy in a nutshell. If you do have questions about those particular AI courses, do feel free to reach out to myself or Patrick, who actually serves your sector and would be in contact with a lot of professionals in that space. So,
Good job, Margaret.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.